What's up? What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, family, man. I got this topic, man, that I want to share with you guys. I know, as most of you know, I have lost a spouse before, and the truth of the matter is that it could have been something that could have been prevented had we taken the time to really go check out some things that were happening, right? And some of us are so busy and so afraid that we sometimes forget these things, right? And so how do you have a relationship with somebody who's hypersensitive to stuff like that, and not check yourself, right? It doesn't feel, do you think it's fair to the other person to be with somebody who's not taking the time to make sure that they're healthy, knowing that you've lost somebody? And it's something that happens in our culture, man, and the Latinos are, I'm not gonna go to the doctor, I'm not gonna check myself, all of this stuff, and yet you want to be in a relationship. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, how do you want to be in a relationship when the other person, is invested in you, in your family, in your life, in growing and being part of, living this life together, but yet you won't do your regular checkups, right? It's one of those things that people, that they take for granted. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We don't know. If we don't check ourselves, we're not going to find things that we can fix, and there might be some stuff that you can't fix, right? Or if we wait too long, it is something that's going to happen, and we're not going to be able to take care of our health because we're playing around with things. Like sometimes people get headaches, right? For example, and they get constant headaches, but sometimes, yes, you've grown up like that your whole life, but what about if there's something underneath that the headaches are getting worse, and you don't go and you don't check yourself, right? And then the doctors tell you, oh, it's this and that, it's you've had it forever, it's sinuses and everything, but there's something underlying going in. Why not check yourself, right? We pay for all this insurance, and we don't go check ourselves enough. Do you go yearly to your yearly checkup to make sure that you're okay? And if you don't, how do you feel about a person who doesn't do that, who needs to be reminded all the time about checking their health, right? And especially if you've gone through that already, it's tough to be in a relationship after that when somebody, it's just tough, right? And how do you feel about that? It's just one of those topics, man, that what are people afraid of? And I think that it's the fear of death, right? But instead of going and conquering it, they sit in it. You sit in that fear, because you don't want to face it, right? You probably feel, there's a lot of people out there that are feeling something wrong with their system, right? They hear that they are diabetic, and yet they continue to do and eat and live that life, and they're in a relationship, right? And it's like, well, I'm not gonna go. But when you're in a relationship, it's a thing that we should talk about together, right? If you're not gonna go, then that's fine. Then maybe, I'm not gonna want to be there, if you're not taking care of yourself. Is that fair? And so when you are ready to go into a relationship, you have to acknowledge that the other person, is vested and expects to have a long life with you. And your job, one of our jobs, right, is to go check ourselves to make sure we're healthy, right? Check ourselves because we have our kids. Check ourselves because we have a partner. Check ourselves because we love ourselves enough to go check ourselves. Right? Does that make any sense to you? And a lot of us, in the Latin culture, it's that machismo that is like, I'm not gonna go to the doctor, I'm not gonna go, and you have 3 or 4 kids, and you're in your 50s and 60s, and you can go to your 70s, 80s, and you got another 10 years that you can give your family, but you refuse to go and check yourself, or whatever, your stomach, you get into these pains, you fall, you have a seizure, and you just don't want to check yourself. And I don't understand what that's about. What is that about? For me, if I get tingles or whatever, I look it up immediately, like what's going on. I want to know what's going on in my life because I have my children, because I have my partner, you know, and so I want to make sure that I'm here for them. And especially if somebody that you are with that has lost somebody else and you're in that relationship and not making sure that you're healthy, you know, that's really a signal that you don't really care about somebody. You don't care about that person and what they're feeling, right? And so that's an important thing, man. Listen, get your yearly checkup. Get your teeth checked out. Get your heart. Get your, you know, when you get to 50, you know, do the colonoscopy, whatever it is that you have to do, man. Because if it's not for you, then do it for the people you love and that love you and expect you to be around longer, right? So I just wanted to get on here and talk about that with you guys. And it's a serious topic, man, for some people, man, that are very sensitive to that have lost somebody else, you know, and their current partner, you know, takes for granted life, doesn't check themselves. It's not a good thing. If you really love somebody, you know, you're gonna love yourself and take care of yourself so that you guys can be together and happier together, right? You're gonna work on your clarity, your mental capacity. You're gonna stop blaming other people and look inside, because you have 100% responsibility for your life. And if you're in a relationship, you have a responsibility for them too. I hope you had I hope that I added some value here, man. And some of you guys out there that are afraid to go check something that might be happening to you right now, and you know that it's some bad thing and you're not checking it, you know, that fear of death should be that you need to go check yourself, instead of I'm gonna ignore it until I die. I'm gonna die anyway. We all die. My brother passed away like that. You know, I'm gonna die anyway, man. My family doesn't live past 50, so I'm just gonna live my life and just do whatever, even though I'm feeling all these crazy things. Don't do that. If you love somebody, if you love yourself enough to take care of yourself, right? You want to last. So have a wonderful, beautiful day. God bless you. I hope I added some value. Peace.